gracious me!
What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome to the Team of the Season Most Consistent Predictions. Now, this isn't necessarily who I want to be in it, or who I think deserves to be in it necessarily. This is the vote I believe will win, and there's a problem with that because there are at least 2 or 3 players in there that are quite literally only going to win because they are high-rated cards that people just want to see. And one of which, and the first player I'm even going to mention on this list, is going to be Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that he doesn't deserve to be there. I think he scored 10 goals in 10 games or something like that. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there, right? He's had a good season, sure. However, there are countless players within this team, this most consistent team of the season nominee category, that could get there ahead of him. I just believe that people will choose Zlatan because it's Zlatan. And I can't really argue with it. I just don't think EA should leave every single player up to us. I know it's the community team of the season, people call it, but essentially it is the most consistent. So it's a case of if they haven't had an inform already, then they're up for one. Now let's go through the list from back to front in terms of not the lower rated necessarily, but the players that you won't really care about up to the bigger names. Now, of course, we've already had Zlatan, and I'll come across him once more. But Diane of Galatasaray is going to be my first pick. That guy's actually done quite well this season. I think he should have had an inform or two so far along the way. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Doesn't look bad, to be fair, though. Some good physical stats on him. Some really nice shooting stats on him as well. Not the paciest of players in the games, but still. I've gone for the Ajax keeper, ONANA. And if you haven't seen my Road to Glory that I did this on, I've maybe made 1 or 2 changes, but effectively I've picked the same players again. But ONANA of Ajax. Now, not necessarily saying that I've watched every league back to front and I know all about it. The reason I've gone with ONANA is because of just how well they've done in the Champions League, and obviously he must have been a part of that, sure. So it'd be nice to have an Ajax player credited. My next player on the list here is going to be Tavernier. Now, this guy, ahead of every other player in this Team of the Season Most Consistent Prediction, deserves to be there. I do Team of the Week predictions week in, week out, and I genuinely can't remember a player for the last 3 or 4 years I've been doing it. I can't remember a player who has deserved to be in form in one season more than this guy. Maybe, quite possibly, Piszczek, who again I don't think was up for nomination. I don't think he's had a special card this year either, which is an interesting one. But Tavernier definitely deserves to be there. Is it going to be a usable card? To an extent, maybe. But am I a Rangers fan? No. Do I care? Not really. But he definitely deserves to be there. McGregor, I think it would only be fair, and this is going to sound a little bit pathetic, but it would be only fair if they gave a Celtic player a most consistent team of the season as they're giving a Rangers one a most consistent team of the season. They don't want an uproar, let's be honest. Although they do their best to cause an uproar when it comes to servers and such. But McGregor, yeah, he deserves to be there again. It doesn't look like a terrible card. And to be fair, it would come in handy to go with my Tavernier, actually. A nice little link there. TROSSARD of the Belgian league, their left wing. Very nice looking card if I've got the ratings even remotely right. Would be a really nice one to have. Next up is going to be Joe. Of course, he does have a League SBC card, which looks kind of meta, so I'm actually quite excited to see this. Would be a really nice card to get your hands on. I can't imagine hardly any of these are going to be expensive. Maybe the top 5, maybe the top 6 will be expensive, but these ones so far, I would have thought they'd be no more than say 50, 60k. Milivojevic for Crystal Palace is yet another one of those players, not quite as prolific as Tavernier, but he's been up for an inform about 4 or 5 times this season so far with goals and in 1-0 wins, man of the match awards and such, and has just not been given one. So that would be nice to see. Lopez up next. Bit of a legend of FIFA, actually, if you go back throughout the years. He's had some really nice cards, and again, wouldn't be a terrible card at all. Very, very pacey, very good in front of goal and great on the ball. WAN-BISSAKA, this guy has come out of absolutely nowhere in terms of just being the next hot totty on the market, and all the big clubs are circling, so I would imagine he'll be on his way out in the summer. But very consistent season for Crystal Palace this year. Definitely deserves his spot in the most consistent. The guy I'm always going to struggle to pronounce the name of, no matter how many FIFAs we have. Roussillon? No idea if that's how you say his name. He looks like a really solid card, to be fair, and I'd imagine that with the sheer number of Bundesliga players that have been knocking about the place, that you'd be able to fit him into a team quite easily. But he hasn't bagged an inform so far this year, despite, again, quite a few, not as many as Milivojevic and definitely not as many as Tavernier, but definitely has had a few shouts. Kevin KAMPL is an interesting one, because Kevin KAMPL is one of my favourite players from FIFA, is it 13 or 14, one or the other, and I don't know what the highest rated card Kevin KAMPL's ever been given, but it doesn't look like a great card on paper, if I'm honest, but it would be really nice to see him get a special card, just purely because of like my nostalgia reasons more than anything else. Berkey of Dortmund. Dortmund had a very good first, 3 quarters of the season, and then completely dropped off and just gave it away. But he was definitely part of that first 3 quarters of the season. Very, very good for Dortmund. Dortmund started to run away with the title, of course, but it just didn't work out for him in the end, unfortunately. But Berkey was part of that early success and definitely deserves a shout, for sure. From one goalkeeper to another, though, we're going to move on to Ter Stegen. Now, Ter Stegen's an interesting one for me, because a lot of people criticise me in the Road to Glory for not choosing Ter Stegen, and whereas I'm not 100% certain he will actually get picked, I believe he will be the player. Wait, how do I explain? Whereas I don't necessarily, not I don't believe he deserves a place, right, but if I was choosing for my personal preference, it wouldn't be Ter Stegen. But I'm not saying he didn't have a great season for Barca or doesn't deserve to be there. I'm actually putting him in my predictions because I believe people will choose that player. So there's that. But I don't know, it's a bit of a complicated one. It looks like a great card nonetheless, whichever way you look at it. Maybe a little bit low on the speed, but it would be nice if he had, I don't know, maybe 55, 60 speed. That would be phenomenal. But it is what it is, and I believe Ter Stegen will be the one that people choose. ISMAILY, this is one of the cards I'd actually be looking forward to using. Not that he would really fit into my team. Although saying that, yeah, actually he would. I tell you what, this could be the guy. This could be the guy on my Road to Glory. I didn't even think about it. I've used the UCL, like the base version, a lot this season so far. He was one of my first major left-backs in my Road to Glory. And to see that he could potentially get himself a team of the season, I would love it if this guy was chosen. 88, 89, maybe even 87 rated, but some really nice stats there, and to be fair, I love the base cards. That could be kind of cool. Alex Telles is, I mean, that's just one of the most guaranteed team of the season cards you've ever seen. There is not one person who would not have put that in their vote. He 100% deserves to be there, and the card looks phenomenal. One of the more well-rounded cards we've seen so far this year, before any of the team of the seasons come out, of course, but it looks like a really good card. Up next is going to be ALDERWEIRELD. Now this is one of those cards that I think will get there because of him being in the Premier League and not necessarily him deserving it. Now I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I need to keep reiterating this. I do watch a lot of the Premier League, obviously, because I'm a fan of a Premier League team. And Tottenham have been very good this year, one of the best teams in the league. But I do believe that a lot of people will just vote for this because he will fit the he'll fit the Premier League teams that they have. Saying that though, it looks like a real powerhouse defender. I would say about 92 rated, somewhere of that nature. Does look like a really good card, and I 100% wouldn't be against him getting that team of the season. RODRI, my Spanish/Welsh counterpart. This card does not look great by any stretch of the imagination. However, it is a card I think is deserved and a card that I would like to see. Again, it's a base gold though, so that's another reason why I kind of want to see it, because there's a lot more of a chance of it being packed, which could be kind of cool. Moving on to the final 6. Going to go for Sergio Busquets now, one of, if not the highest rated player so far in Team of the Season, most consistent. I mean, let's be honest, this guy is, again, kind of like Alex Telles, really, all but guaranteed. He's one of the higher rated selections. People will automatically choose him because of his rating. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there. Barca have had an outstanding season. They'll probably end up doing the double this year. But with that being said, I think people will just choose it because of the rating. But it does look like an absolutely phenomenal card. Maybe a touch on the slow side, and maybe people will be put off by that. But in terms of just defensive capability, if you tend to stay put in a CDM role, it's a sexy card, that's for sure. We're going to move on to ALLAN. This is one of the cards I'd be most looking forward to using. I would say ALLAN, Alex Telles, no, not Alex Telles, ISMAILY. ALLAN, ISMAILY, and maybe Kevin KAMPL will be the 3 that I would really be looking forward to. Tavernier would be a card I'd definitely give a go, but those 3 in general will be the ones I'm really looking forward to. Allan, in fact, would go into my team and stay there for the rest of FIFA. He is an absolutely phenomenal CDM. The League SBC card is good. The base cards are good. He got an upgrade, of course. Fingers crossed people vote for this guy, because he really does not necessarily deserve it. I don't know. Like I said, don't watch enough of the football, but I would really like to see it. It would be a phenomenal card. Let's talk about Ibra. Get that guy out of the way first. Like I said, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. We already have a flashback. We have a FUT birthday. He has an inform. No, wait, no, he doesn't have an inform. He can't do. He deserved an inform, but they didn't give it to him. But then I was close to the FUT birthday. But a 95 team of the season Ibra, I'm not going to complain about it, right? Even though it does sound like I am. I'm not going to complain about it. If he gets it, he gets it. We'll embrace it, right? But in my opinion, there are plenty of other players in the most consistent vote that could be chosen over Ibra, and I would prefer to see them because we've had several special cards already. Up next is going to be Oscar. This is one that I'm really looking forward to as well. I've got a thing about Brazilians, apparently. I've just noticed that every card I'm looking forward to, apart from KAMPL, is Brazilian. But Oscar, again, very gifted. He did have a base gold card. I'd be interested to see, actually, because he was originally a base but then upgraded to a gold. Would he still count as a base card? Not sure. That might sound a little bit like a stupid question, but I'm pretty sure that happened the other day with something. I packed something that shouldn't have been there, but it was there because his non-upgrade was a base gold or silver or something. I can't remember, but either way, that would be a really nice card to see. BERGWIJN of PSV, sorry if I've mispronounced that. He's been linked with Manchester United, as have half of Europe, but because they're going to have that massive exodus in the summer, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Dutch League players move to the Premier League this year. And he could be one of them, but this looks like a really good card. His dribbling is very good, his pace is phenomenal. So yeah, wouldn't mind picking that up, but ultimately, I've already given you my sort of top list. And then, of course, to finish things off, we have Haller, the Frankfurt striker. This guy looks phenomenal. This guy looks one of the better players in the entire pick. I'd prefer to pack this guy and to play with this guy over Ibra, I think, because he looks so meta. He has decent amounts of pace, dribbling, very good physical, very good shooting ability, and has been very consistent for what has been a very good season for Frankfurt this year, despite recent results. But all in all, that is a pretty convincing team of the season. Special shout out now to 2 particular players, and not that I think one of them, not that a special shout out for one of them is warranted because he plays for Man City and I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm going to talk about him first. John Stones, 87 rated potentially, or there or thereabouts, I would say. Has had a consistent season for Man City. There's no question about it. Does look like as though they're going to go on to win the Premier League title now. And that's all well and good for them, and there you go, might be in with a shout of maybe a hero card. You remember like they did with Leicester a few years ago, but then again they were expected to win the Premier League, so I suppose maybe they won't do that this year. But you never know when it comes to John Stones, but I think again people will vote for it because it's a Premier League card. People have Premier League teams. It looks like a decent card, but I don't think it'll be one of those cards that everyone will rush out to buy, because there are a lot of cards out there that are better than this already. The final player is yet another Premier League player and another Englishman, and it is, of course, Maddison of Leicester. This is one that I would really like to see. In no way, shape or form is this an elite card. Is it a weekend league card? No. But it's just one for a job well done, you know. 4-star, 4-star, which is awesome to have. A really nice midfielder who can hit them from distance, decent ball control on him, and it's just be a fun card to use. Is he really ever going to make it into anybody's team, apart from Leicester fans? Probably not, but again, it would be nice to have this kind of card in the game. There's another player, actually, an Empoli striker, Caputo. I really like the standard Caputo card. I think it's decent, so it would be really nice if we were to get a team of the season for him. But unfortunately, I just think because he's not popular enough, he won't get voted for, regardless of how well he's done this season. But that does it for the vote. If you've enjoyed it, then do me a favour and hit the like button. If I've left anybody out, then I do apologise, but I'm just doing what I think people will vote for, not necessarily what I want to see. If you wanted to see that, then I would be more than happy to do it, but It's a prediction, and that's what I'm predicting will happen. So if you want to see a Premier League prediction, feel free to hit the like button. The more likes we get, the more likely I am to do it. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And until the next time, goodbye.